Hi, my name is Martin Purnell, and welcome to a very special festive edition of Off-Grid Christianity, a weekly podcast for those who do or don't go to church, and for those who are disillusioned. By the way, we are now on Facebook. It's only taken 20-odd weeks to get to this form of media, but please leave a message and find an episode to listen to of Off-Grid Christianity. Our Facebook page is Off-Grid Christianity, and you can email us as well at OGC, which bizarrely stands for Off-Grid Christianity, ogc@accessradio.biz, and biz is spelled B-I-Z. That's accessradio.biz. Anyway, enough of the housekeeping. This podcast will hopefully cheer you up, answer a few nagging questions, and in my case, I will give you a load of useless information. Or is it? I have two very special guests that survived my initial interviews last time. First, we have all the way from the Spanish mainland. Would you please welcome Mr. Martin Scott? Hi, Martin. Please remind everyone of who you are.
Okay. Hi, Martin. Always funny saying that to somebody else, but hi, Martin. I like the name, so hi, Martin. Yeah, I'm on the Spanish mainland. I was born in Scotland, lived most of my adult life in England. 2009, January the 1st, with my wife, Gail, we moved to Spain, initially to Mallorca. We've lived in 3 separate locations. So we've been here now almost 14 years. Loving it, loving the culture, lots to enjoy. And yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you very much indeed. Very succinct. Thank you, Martin. Secondly, we have from Mallorca, our house band leader and video director and everything else besides. Please welcome Mr. Noel Richards. Noel, please remind us who you are, please.
Yes, well, I'm Noel Richards, and I guess my main job is I'm a singer-songwriter. And I guess a lot of people would know me as a worship leader because I've done that for many years. And together with my wife, Tricia, we have written a lot of songs that have been taken up by the church over these recent years, which is a great encouragement for us. We never imagined that anything that we wrote in the bedroom of our home would actually end up being sung around the world. So we live in Spain as well, but we live on an island. We live on the island of Mallorca, where we've been since 2010. So delighted to be with you this evening for this special podcast.
Exactly. And if only Jennifer Lopez had chosen one of your songs instead of writing that song that we hear continuously in all the shops.
I wouldn't be here tonight.
Exactly. We'd have to chosen somebody else. Anyway, let's go for it. So it's slightly different for those that normally listen to the podcasts. I ask 5 interest type getter questions to start the Off-Grid Christianity podcast rolling. But obviously, you've already done those questions before, guys. So I thought we'd do a quiz tonight, if that's okay.
Okay.
5 simple questions, or are they? And if you get a question right, then you can go for your bonus point. And what do points make?
We don't know.
Yeah.
But they obviously make something very significant. So please tell us.
Well, maybe somebody who's watching could keep score as to what
that'd be a good
on.
idea, please. Yes.
Yeah, and we'll put the score up on the screen. If somebody could give us some sort of points, that'll be great.
That'd be good. So let's say you get 5 points for getting the correct answer. Okay. And then your bonus point will double it. So you get another 5 points. Double it. Yeah. So you get 10 points in total. We'll do that. How's that? Yeah. Excellent. And points make prizes. You obviously haven't watched many game shows in your past life, have you?
No.
That excites me. Come bring on the prizes at Christmas time.
It's always
bring on the quiz, Martin.
Right, here we go. Question number 1 then. So, by the way, so we know who's going to answer. Noel, can you say the word fizz? And Martin, can you say the word buzz? All right. It's very high tech, this. So if you think know the answer, just say fizz for Noel and buzz for Martin. All right.
To practice?
You go for it.
No practice. No. No, we go. This is live. There is no practice.
Right.
Fizz.
Buzz.
Listen to the assertiveness there.
Yeah, he jumped the buzzer. He can get some points taken off. I'm all for fairness when it works out in my favor.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
Right. Here we go then. Question number 1. This is the start of a 10. No conferring, of course. And you've got to think about the time that we're actually in at the moment. So as we are moving rapidly into the Christmas holiday and New Year season, right? And bearing in mind, we're thinking about somebody's birthday, right? And bearing in mind that the first off of the simple questions who was born in a stable apparently around this time and loved by millions.
Noel, you can answer this one.
Born in a stable and loved by millions
Yeah.
around this time.
Yeah,
Well,
see, you've
obviously,
thrown us there, I think, because obviously Noel and I have checked out when he was born.
Yeah, but
So your question.
I know the
kind
answer is
of
Jesus. I know
didn't-
the answer is Jesus, but I don't think it is really.
Yeah, it's not really Noel, is it?
No, it's not.
I
No, I don't know who was
don't
born.
think he
in a
was born
stable.
around this time. I think that's a bit of a myth, Martin.
Yes.
Oh,
So,
Ooh.
I mean, I'm putting in an appeal that you kind of
Can I-
split the points.
Can anybody
five
who's
each.
watching tell us who was born in a stable and is loved
Around
by
this
millions
time.
at this time? Anybody? I'm looking
Yeah.
for some comments here.
Yeah.
Anybody?
The first question should have been an easy one.
Well, I
Jesus
thought it
in,
was.
but it
I
was a
thought it
bit of
was.
a curveball.
Well, shall I put you out of your misery then?
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Red rum.
Right. Okay. Red rum. The horse.
Okay.
Okay, we
Loved
got
by
it.
Millions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Now,
is that verified?
It
Loved
is.
by millions.
Yeah. Well, it was at the time. And, he was born in a stable. We know that because he's a horse. But actually, here's the first piece of useless information. Racehorses all have their birthday on January the 1st.
All of them.
All
All
of
of
them.
them.
Yeah. So that way they know. So, when you see, when you watch Grandstand or whatever, and they say, and this race is for a 3-year-old mare or 3-year-old gelding or whatever, that's how they work it out.
Okay. So we're
Right,
getting some useful facts tonight.
Right.
As well.
No, I think we lost that one.
I think we lost that one. I
Then we
just put a
lost
little
that
thing up on
there.
the screen there. Alan Ball is drinking Argentinian Malbec. It's called. Is it called the fatted calf?
Ah,
there you
right.
go.
For that question. Yeah, he thought it was a fatted calf. Yeah, that's a different question. I should remember that one. Right. Okay. Hey, question number 2 then in this high scoring game. What have Joseph, as in, the amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat type of guy, Vijay Armitage, and Maya Sharif all got in common?
Could you repeat the question, please?
Yeah,
No,
surely.
no, well, Buzz,
Okay. Oh, Martin Scott, Spain.
taking the lead from question 1,
Yes.
date of birth.
No, that's not the answer.
A bit of a blow.
Yeah.
Don't
what
you
have-
know?
Yeah.
If you could repeat the question, because you
Certainly,
lost
sir.
me.
Certainly. What have Joseph, as in the amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat type of guy from the Bible, Vijay Armitage, and Maya Sharif all got in common?
Buzz,
They were.
Yeah, Martin Scott again.
Yes, go on.
am I
Martin.
allowed to come in twice?
Yeah, yeah, might as well.
Egypt.
Explain.
They've all been to Egypt.
Well, I'm going to give you 5 points for that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Generous,
They've
but thank
They've
you.
all served in the courts of Egypt.
Oh, I
Because-
see.
Vijay
Ooh.
Armitage is a very famous tennis player who won the Egyptian Open. And from Egypt, currently number 44 in the world's ladies tennis rankings, is Maya Sharif. So she would have served in one of the courts of Egypt.
Okay, there you go. Somebody's drinking a whole bottle tonight.
After this, no, I think we can comment on
Yeah.
our lack
This
of
quiz.
stepping
This
up to the
quiz.
plate.
This is nothing like the questions I was expecting.
No, I'm sorry. I do apologize, but it's me. Question number 3. What model of Mitsubishi car is mentioned in the Bible?
Colt. Buzz.
Yeah, Buzz.
Colt.
Martin
gosh.
Scott.
Way
That's
in
very
front.
good, Martin. Very
Way in
good.
front,
Very good
Noel.
indeed.
Very good. He's learning. He's good. So you can go for a bonus question then.
Oh, far away.
Okay.
Can I call a friend?
No.
Okay.
What have the following all got in common? The Pioneer Network of Churches, the Dam Busters March, and Stoke City FC.
Pioneer Network of Churches, the Dam Buster what?
The Dam Busters March,
And Stoke
City FC.
Pass.
Pass.
No, you must know that one.
The Pioneer Churches, Dam Busters theme tune, and Stoke
Mhm.
City.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Oh, wait,
Stoke City Football
Buzz,
Club.
something to
Yeah,
do with
Martin
something
Scott.
to do with something to do with Britannica.
Ah,
But no,
oh.
no. I'll give you a big clue if you want.
Yes.
Normally when my questions go awry or my humour goes awry, I'll say I'll go and get my coat. But as there's more than one of us, I'd have to go and get my coats.
Okay, Buzz.
Yes, Martin Scott.
They all have someone with the name Coates involved.
Correct.
Oh,
Bonus
great.
points.
Okay. Well, I should have known that one. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Gerald
No,
Coates.
can we just, for my benefit and for Noel's humiliation, could we just have a quick note of how many
Scores
points?
on the doors.
Yeah, what's the scores?
Is anybody keeping score?
I am.
And the scores are, please, Martin?
15-0.
Oh, fantastic. You've got plenty of time, Noel. Plenty of time. Plenty of time. Right, next question. What have Genesis, Exodus, Nazareth, and Lamb of God all got in common?
Fizz.
Noel Richards.
They're bands.
Very good, sir. They are all bands.
Yes.
Up to your full stature, Noel.
What?
Up to your full stature. Very
I'm back
good.
to my full stature now. I got an answer right. Hey, there you
Very
go.
well. Yeah, Genesis,
15-5,
obviously.
I remind you.
Sorry, Martin, I talked over you.
15-5. I don't believe he gets a bonus question,
Oh,
does he?
He does.
Oh, that's a shock.
There's one more. Okay.
So you get a bonus question on that. Obviously, Genesis, Exodus, they're all bands. Nazareth, of course, great band from Scotland in the 70s.
Of course.
Lamb of God, I think the American heavy sort of metal type, thrash metal sort of stuff. Not my cup of tea, but anyway, there you go. So your question then, Noel,
Yes.
which professional football team did Martin Scott play for?
Oh, Buzz.
Go on, Martin.
Sunderland.
He did. He did play for Sunderland after he left my team, which is Bristol City. He also played for Rotherham and Notts Forest. There's also, funny enough, a player in Scotland at the moment called Jimmy Scott, but he was christened Martin. So it's Martin Jimmy Scott, and he's a manager of one of the lowland teams in Scotland at the moment.
Okay.
Isn't that exciting news, isn't it?
Well, I'm sure everybody who's watching tonight and listening will be interested in all this trivia.
It gets worse.
They're
It
really
gets worse.
life-changing, aren't they? Yes.
Question 5.
Depends how you receive the questions now.
Yes.
Be more open in your heart, and your life too could be changed.
I will try and be more open in my heart and in my life. Yeah. Okay. Get on with the question.
How
Yes.
long? How many years have I been telling you this?
A long time, Martin. Yes.
Good.
Let's go again. We're ready.
Thank you. Right, fingers on the buzzers again. Why would you fall asleep after reading Genesis chapter 4, verse 17?
Why would you fall asleep?
Is it to do with drinking alcohol?
You did not buzz. Or fizz.
Fizz.
No, Richards.
To do with drinking alcohol, I believe.
No.
No, it wasn't. Okay.
Genesis 4 must be the murder of Abel. In there
Might have been,
somewhere.
but that's
Buzz.
not the answer.
But
I've
I
got a
have no-
Bible here somewhere.
Hmm,
Does
pass.
anybody listening know the answer to that?
I don't know. I don't know.
This is embarrassing. The first biblical question.
Yeah, I'm
Nolan.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why would you fall asleep after reading Genesis chapter 4, verse 17?
verse
I'll
7.
put you out of your misery, okay?
Yeah.
Came to the land of Nod.
Oh, the land.
Oh, the land of Nod. Yeah. Okay.
my
Right.
word.
That's fair enough. Yeah. Okay. That groan. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, just two more, just for the heck of it, really. How many Christmas number ones has Cliff Richard had, and can you name them?
Can you name them?
Do
Do you have do your buzzer
wine?
now?
No
Buzzer.
Richards. No Richards.
I fizzed. Mistletoe and wine.
That's one. You see, if you only had him on speed dial, you could just phone him up, couldn't you?
Yeah. Does it? I don't know. I mean,
We've
please,
got mistletoe. You've got mistletoe and wine. You've also got Saviour's Day. Okay.
Okay.
And you've also then got when he was with the Shadows, Cliff Richard and the Shadows had a number one hit in 1960 called "I Love You."
Okay.
That was 3. And he gets a credit for being on Band Aid 2 in 1985 for "Do They Know It's Christmas."
Okay.
So 4 in total.
There you go. Somebody's drinking late bottle vintage port. Can you see
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, do. Yeah. It's Chris
Tim
Yeah,
him
but,
to it.
it's thanks
Yes.
to
Oh,
us.
and one of our listeners has got mistletoe and wine twice.
Oh,
Ah,
well, that's a close
that
run
was
thing, isn't it?
twice. Thank you, Michelle Davis. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's
Anybody
it
else?
then. Thank you very much indeed. I could give you one more question, a bonus question.
Yeah,
You ready
fire
for this?
away. Come on.
Okay. What have Jimi Hendrix, Liam Gallagher, Mr. Blobby, and Tricia Richards all got in common?
Buzz,
Martin
they're all
Scott.
connected to somebody who needs help. Bonus points?
No.
What?
They've all appeared on stage with someone called Noel. Jimi Hendrix, The Experience.
Okay. Noel
Bass
Redding.
guitarist was Noel Redding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Liam
Oh, do I get a
Gallagher.
point for that?
I'll give you a point for that. Yeah.
Okay.
Noel Gallagher has a brother called Liam Gallagher, of course. Mr. Blobby used to appear on stage
Noel
with
Edmonds.
Noel Evans. And Tricia Richards appears on stage with Noel Richards. Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. Well, thank you for taking part in that quiz.
It's
It
a
seemed a good
pleasure.
idea at the time.
I think I've shown how useless I am at all this trivia. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, over to you, Mr. Video DJ. What do we do next, sir?
Okay. Yes, I think it's time for some music, don't you?
Oh, I need a glass of wine, that's for sure.
And let's have God Rest You Merry Gentlemen. This is me and Tricia.
Thank you.
God rest you, merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. For Jesus Christ our Savior was born upon this day to save us all from Satan's power when we were gone astray. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. From God our Heavenly Father, a blessed angel came, and unto certain shepherds brought tidings of the same, how that in Bethlehem was born the Son of God by name. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. To the Lord sing praises, all you within this place, and with true love and fellowship each other now embrace. This holy tide of Christmas, all bitterness displace. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. Gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. For Jesus Christ our Savior was born upon this day to save us all from Satan's power when we were gone astray. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. Tidings of comfort.
So much joy.
Your tidings of comfort.
Bring so much joy.
Your tidings of comfort.
Give so much joy.
Your tidings of comfort.
So much joy.
Superb. Thank you very much indeed, Noel. Have you
Pleasure.
ever been on to a chat show in America? Because what we could have done with then is like studio audience round of applause, even though there wasn't a studio audience there. That's what we
Yes, that would have
needed.
been good, wouldn't it? Canned applause. I'll do that next time.
Please.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Very good. Thank you very much indeed. So, I had needed a glass of wine after that, and it's only fair we find out what everyone else is drinking tonight. So, Noel, what are you drinking, please, sir?
Well, tonight I am drinking a lovely bottle of Rioja. I'll just put that in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Coto de Imath. Reserva Rioja 2017. And it's one of our favorite wines. Do you want some technical information about that?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I have tasting notes here.
Oh my word!
Bodegas El Coto. The website is elcoto.com. If you want to look at it, they've got an English version of the website. Established in 1970, that particular wine is 100% Tempranillo, which is the most famous grape here in Spain.
And why is it called Tempranillo?
Tempranillo.
This is a quiz question.
Tempranillo is to do with its age.
No.
Is it to do with Igor Tempranillo, who found it in 1763?
Pass on that. No, it's to do with the temperature that the grape likes to grow at.
Oh,
Tempranillo.
In English, temperate.
Oh, well, thank you, Martin. That's
So, a little jump in there. It was a bonus question, no.
well, that's good.
I'm looking for you to catch up so that towards the end we can really have a proper match.
And it says here, look, Martin Scott's turn to sing.
yeah.
And it says
From
above,
Arnold and Pamela
Gail
in
Scott
Preston.
says, please give me more wine. And it could be in response to that very question.
Okay, now can I get on with my wine thing?
Yeah,
now?
please.
Okay.
No, please.
Yes, the alcoholic fermentation is carried out in stainless steel tanks. It's aged for 18 months in American oak barrels and then refined in the bottle for a minimum of 18 months. And intense cherry color with a garnet edge. On the nose, powerful aroma, complex ripe fruit and fine cocoa. Fleshy on the palate, powerful velvety with ripe tannins and good acidity. And it gets 3.9 out of 5 as a score on Vivino. And it's 14% by volume.
Oh, wow.
Alcohol.
Yeah.
So cheers. This is my wine and one of the ones I'll be drinking over the festive season.
Cheers, good sir. Thank you. You lost me
you.
when you said Garnet, because immediately I thought of Alf Garnet, but
All right. Okay.
so whatever he smelled like.
Look at this cheeky. Gail Scott says, did you make that up? Of course I didn't make that up. This is my knowledge of wine, Gail. Yes. And Helen Hillard is sipping a Shiraz.
Yes.
She says. So we've got
Nice.
Michelle Davis is sipping Robinson peach juice,
Okay.
which is probably unfermented, I would think.
Yes.
Yes. And we've got a big greeting here from Revival FM, South Beach Baptist Church, Saltcoats. There you go. They've got a
fantastic.
concert with Rob Halligan tomorrow night. Hope that goes well.
Yeah, very much so. Give him
So,
our regards.
cheers.
Cheers to you, sir. Martin Scott,
Indeed.
what are you drinking, good sir?
Well, let me hold it up. Oh, it's hard to. Which way do you write? Oh, that.
Well, Mervidio or something, is it?
Murviedro is the bodega rather, and it means old vines. It is from a grape that I think about 90% of it is grown in a very small area, just west of Valencia,
Oh,
in an area called Utiel Requena. And it's called the Bobal grape, which apparently is named that way from a Spanish word referring to the shape of the bull's head, or probably a Valencian word, actually.
all right.
That is my understanding. I sit to be corrected,
Wow.
and I will sip it. So it is made from old grapes from old vines. So it has a very kind of earthy, older taste. And very, very fruity. I think it is 13.5%, so I'm way behind now. Yeah, 13.5% alcohol.
there you go.
So I can obviously take a little more than you can tonight now.
Cheers, Martin.
Yes,
to
thank you,
that.
Martin. And I'm going to give you a bonus point, Martin, for not using notes to read out your wine. Well done.
Oh, thank you.
I thought I was being so clever too.
You're very welcome. Now, I'm drinking Primitivo tonight. There you go. From my local vineyard, Sainsbury's. I'm a good boy. It's 13.5%. But anyway, it's from Puglia in Italy. And I must admit, I do have a penchant for Italian wines. I really do. And the Tempranillo grape, by the way, is a funny grape with me. Sometimes I can have a fantastic bottle of Rioja, then sometimes it's so. But it's good
Yeah,
to know
they can
you've
be a
got
bit
those
hit
ones.
and miss at times. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And
Yeah.
we've got all sorts of drinks being consumed here tonight, Martin. Pam
Yeah,
is
I
drinking
see that hot chocolate from Pam.
Yeah.
Wow.
Adrian is drinking JP Chenet Merlot. I
Yes,
think that's
Wow.
French, isn't it?
it is. Yep.
And Gail Scott is drinking nothing. She's teetotal tonight.
Sip it, save me mucho. Who's she referring to?
Oh, look. Andy
Oh,
Cooper. Hey.
Oh my
Fantastic.
word. Come on.
there you go. See, great minds obviously think alike, which goes on actually to our first almost serious question, if that's okay. What wine do you think did they drink 2,000 years ago before red rum, obviously?
Oh. Well, I've been doing some research actually.
Oh my word.
Share away, please.
He
No.
has his notes.
And did you know that basically the first winemaker in the world was referred to in the Bible?
Oh, tell us
And that
more.
was Noah. After the
Mr.
flood,
Noah.
he planted a vineyard.
He did.
And I think that's the first recorded instance of a vineyard and a winemaker. So the Bible has the first ever winemaker in the world in history. And that was Noah. He did actually drink a little bit too much later on, though, and it gave him a bit of a headache,
He did.
according to the scriptures. And wine has been very popular in Israel for many, many centuries. And there's lots of vineyards. So I did look it up. So I would have thought they would have drunk something like Noah blend or something like that, or a Carmel, because that was quite a Carmel.
Very good. Very good.
Very
I do
good,
know.
Noel.
I do know about Noel. I do know about Noah that he was the first successful businessman in the Bible, wasn't he? Because he floated a company when the rest of the world was under liquidation.
Oh.
Thank
Okay,
you.
that's probably the worst joke I've heard tonight.
Oh no, I've got loads more.
I got loads more.
More
Oh
to-
yeah.
More to
Yeah.
come, I'm sure.
Oh yes. Oh
I
yes.
think actually the wine in early centuries was probably a little vinegarish. If I'm
Well,
honest, I don't
well,
think
like
it was
Noel-
probably that good.
Like Noel, actually, I did some research as well on this
Oh
to
my
find out what
word!
it was, and it's all because a few years ago when I started to really get into Primitivo, otherwise known as Zinfandel in certain other countries. I think it's called Primitivo because they think it's one of the original grapes that you would have found 2,000 years ago.
Okay.
But they also suggest that the grapes, because they didn't have the techniques that we've got now, the skins would have been a lot harder,
Okay,
and so therefore it would have been a lot sweeter, the juice that came out, but it could have been very, very fruity indeed.
All right. Yeah.
now I will be a little controversial here.
Go for it.
Mhm.
Jesus, of course, made wine,
Hmm.
very
He did.
good wine. However, what is a little embarrassing to work out is a certain brother Paul said, "Do not get drunk on wine." Correct? Ephesians.
Correct.
John chapter 2 says, is the exact same word, when the people were, shall we say, make it a little more
Tipsy.
polite, a little tipsy and a little
Yes.
more than tipsy. Jesus said, right, bring all those water casks over here now. It's time to start the party.
Yeah. And did you know, Martin,
No.
that it was 140 gallons of
Yeah.
wine?
It
So
was a lot.
not only had they drunk the bar dry, but Jesus then proceeded to give the equivalent of a small off license
Yeah.
or small liquor store full of wine for the party. Because if you
Yeah.
work out what 140 gallons is in liters and then divide it by the bottle size, that gives you an idea of how many bottles of wine
It was a cracking
Jesus
party.
brought to the party. So he brings a new meaning to the phrase, bring a bottle.
Bring a bottle or two.
Or two.
Yes.
or
Yes.
more. I had a little journey once, tell you a little story. I had a little journey once from Dallas Airport to New Mexico,
Mhm.
journey in a car. It is not the most pleasant view out the window. It is hours in duration. I'm sitting next to me is a pastor who was a Southern Baptist pastor. So halfway through Woo! Halfway through, I think I'm going to liven this up. So I said, I don't mind. I hope you don't mind if I ask, but what's your stance on alcohol? So he said, well, I preach against it. I have a sermon against it. So I learned over the years, just keep quiet. So I kept quiet, and he drove in a more or less a straight line, but kept looking at me. And then he said, what about you? So I said, well, I drink it. At which point the car was no longer going in a straight line. A sudden swerve, and he got back control. And he said, but the Bible is clear. And top of which, it was non-alcoholic wine.
Oh, yeah, right.
So I said, that really makes sense. Paul said, please do not get drunk on non-alcoholic wine.
Of course.
At which point he said to me, you've just ruined my sermon. My reply was, I think you maybe could find another one.
I was staying in a guest house in South Africa once. It was a Christian guest house, and I was with my
What
band.
makes a house Christian?
Well, run by
So
Christians. The guest house wasn't Christian, but basically it was what
I
is
thought
known.
this is a new theology. No, you've come up.
I really do have a thing about staying in Christian guest houses. I try to avoid them normally because they're not very good, the ones I've stayed in. Anyway, so we were in this guest house. We were doing a concert in this city in South Africa with my band, and it was a disaster. The whole thing was a disaster. It was a terrible night for us. And we were so depressed afterwards that we got back to this little guest house, and we were sitting on the terrace. And we noticed that in each of our rooms was a carafe of wine, and it was port wine. So we all brought our little carafes out and just sat on the terrace with our glass and our carafes of port wine. And we drank the entire lot. We each drank a carafe of this wine while we were talking and commiserating about the terrible evening we'd had. And then my drummer said, do you notice something? He said, we have drunk a carafe of wine each, and we're still sober. And we suddenly realized it was non-alcoholic wine. We weren't actually drinking to get drunk. We were just sipping away as we were talking, but suddenly we realized the whole carafe had gone, and we were still upright.
Wow.
Well, you can tell that you weren't drunk on it, because had you been, he would have said a giraffe of wine, not carafe of wine.
A giraffe, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway.
I think that's what gave it away. Just saying. Well, whilst we're on this subject, in 1982, I went with a good mate of mine to Spain for the World Cup, because obviously just what it was in Spain, otherwise we'd look pretty stupid.
It'd be very stupid, yeah.
Yeah, to watch England play over there. And on the first night, we beat France 3-1, funnily enough. Fastest ever goal at the time scored by Brian Robson. I was there, sat next to a Frenchman. That was a good time. But on the way back, obviously when we got to campsite, there was a local pub next door. So I went there, and being from Bristol, of course, they had Cedras. And I'm thinking, well, this would be Spanish cider, Bristolian me sort of thing, or almost Bristolian. And I better show them how to drink cider. 4 pints of stuff I had. I was doing brilliantly. 4 pints. And I thought, wow, I'm really well hard here now. Look at me. I can take it. But I left it at 4 pints. Only to find out later on that a Cedras in that particular place was non-alcoholic.
There you go.
So there you
hope
go.
You enjoyed it.
It was very nice, mind. Yeah. Non-alcoholic cider does exist.
It does exist. Okay, there you go.
Well, that's then. Thank you very much indeed for sharing that. Then, so basically, we think that wine 2,000 years ago definitely existed, and it was definitely alcoholic.
Yeah,
I would think so. Yes.
Yes, and yes.
Yeah, and also maybe Jesus, because he was able to obviously know all about wine. Maybe he actually served a wine they never had before. Maybe it was like an Australian Cabernet Sauvignon.
Ahead of its time. It was good, that is for sure.
Yeah.
Possibly. It was very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Question number 2 then. Before we go to another carol, and by the way, I thought the way you changed very quickly into a shirt and got behind the microphone to play the last one was brilliant, Noel. So,
the wonders of
the
magic art.
Being just so professional. What has given you encouragement regarding Christianity in 2022, please?
You got a fizz or buzz?
Oh.
Do you have a fizz or buzz?
Who's first?
You go first, Noel.
Okay, well, it's just a little encouraging story that I heard the other day. It was about a church in the US, They were struggling to pay the bills because numbers were down, and they had a building which they knew they were going to lose because they couldn't afford to run it, maintain it. Somebody once referred to some of these buildings as God's cage. Interesting, because some of these buildings are quite elaborate when you travel in the US. And anyway, the pastor who'd been in a failing church before in California, before he moved to this church, said, look, let's do something different. And what they did was they sold the building. So they were free from all the expense of running a building and all the bills associated with that. And they invested in a local girl who was starting up a coffee shop. So they invested into a local coffee shop, which would benefit the community.
Wow.
And bring people into that place and make it like a focal point in the community. And so that's what they did. And then they decided when they met together, they would rent a hall. So they meet just in a local community center. And one of the things they do is they have dinner church. So their church is built totally around having a meal together, which to me is what church really was all about when it first started back 2,000 years ago. People meeting in each other's homes on a daily basis.
Yes.
And you remember that time when Jesus, at that Last Supper, he said, you know, every time you raise a glass of wine, every time you have a meal together, remember me. Just remember the good times you've had. Remember this night. Remember what's going to happen tomorrow. So remember me. He didn't say, put on a robe and stand at the front and swing incense and all that sort of stuff. He didn't say have a worship leader with a guitar. He just said basically get together. Every time you get together, remember me. Our friend Gerald Coates, the late Gerald Coates, who was a great influence to all of us, he used to raise his glass when we were at restaurants. He used to say to the king and his kingdom. And I think that's a great toast.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
And so whenever we get together as friends, we often do that. We remember what Jesus has done for us. So I like that idea of dinner church.
Yeah.
And there are times when this church does have a conventional kind of church meeting, but I love the idea of people gathering together, the church coming around a table and having dinner and then worshiping, praying, and all that stuff happening. So that kind of filled me with joy. And evidently, dinner church is one of the fast-growing things in North America. So maybe we should adopt it in other places as well.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Thank you, Noel. Points still up for grabs on this round, by the way, Martin, just saying.
Oh, I think he did very well there. I think at least
thank you.
a bonus point. Well done, Noel. I think for me, more general, I've had so many conversations this year with people, ones I've known forever and reconnected with, but a lot of newer people as well have come into my life the last 2 or 3 years. And just the honesty, the willingness to explore, the willingness to say, what if we looked at it this way? What have we explored? You know, like you're talking about, Noel, different ways of being together, rather than saying we've got a fixed form. How do we fit into it? But why don't we experiment? I've done a lot of Zoom gatherings this last year, more than is good for my health probably, but from people, different countries, and it's the same thing coming through. We really want our faith not to be something private, personal, of course, but not private, but neither imposed on people. So let's just talk about how do we live out our faith? What does it mean? Not trying to get people back through a door, but actually us being honest, full of integrity, not hiding who we are in terms of our faith, but also listening to them and their questions. I think that, and Gail helped me with this, when Jesus said, 2 or 3 gather together, I'll be in the midst. If you translate it, I'll be in the middle, it kind of is wonderful. It's a little disarming. In other words, I don't have the truth. You don't have the truth. But if we're honest together, Jesus, the truth, will be somewhere between us. So if I don't reach out to you, you don't reach out to me, I stay in my little box, we're not going to meet Jesus. So I've had lots of conversations like that. throughout the year.
It's great. Fantastic.
Great answer, Martin. And you won the bonus point on that one. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Could be fixed this. No, it could be loaded. I'm just saying. Just saying.
Yeah,
Thank you for that round. Sorry, Martin, what were you going to say?
No, I was just asking you, don't say it. There's certain things best not said.
Oh, okay.
About it being loaded, etc. It's best not said.
Not even with fries.
Yeah.
No. Back to you, sir, on the DJ record decks. What have you got for us next, please, sir?
Oh, it's a lovely carol. It's Silent Night, which is just perfect. Made for guitar and voices.
Brilliant.
Tricia and myself once again. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night, holy night, shepherds quake at the sight, glory scream from heaven afar, heavenly hosts sing hallelujah, Christ the Savior is born, Christ the Savior is born. Silent night, holy night, Son of God, love's pure light, radiant beams from thy holy face, with the dawn of redeeming grace. Jesus, Lord, at thy birth, Jesus, Lord, at thy Silent night, silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant, so tender
thought you were great. And Noel, you weren't bad either. Thank you very much indeed.
Oh, well, thank you so much.
Canned laughter you might not have either at the moment, but no, thank you. It sounded really, really good. And as you said about the beginning, about the guitars, it makes a perfect piece to play it. And it sounded very almost like a glockenspiel type effect as well. Really
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, it must have been the way the microphone was set up at that time when we recorded it. Yeah.
It was lovely. It was lovely. Well, in good BBC tradition, then, when due to Lord Reith way back in 1922, you want to get the right balance for an interview. So BBC have to be impartial, but then if you have someone promoting something, you have to have something against it. So keeping that trade alive, we talked about what's been encouraging about Christianity in 2022. And thanks for all the comments that have been coming up on the screen, by the way. They enjoyed the last wee chat, so that was nice. What has annoyed you about Christianity in 2022? Let's start, first of all, with the person who's in the lead on the points, Martin Scott.
Who would that be, I ask? Oh, it's me.
Yes.
How far ahead am I? Just checking
by
out.
about a foot, I would say.
By about a foot. That's quite
Yeah.
big. My feet are quite big.
Yeah.
That's good. You can always tell, religious people. They got very big feet.
Really?
Yeah, because whenever I get around them, I seem to trample on their feet. And because their feet are exceptionally long.
There you go.
Anyway.
Well, you can have
So
another
what's the
bonus
question?
point for
What
that.
has annoyed me? What's put me out? I think the ongoing thing of Christians, maybe more across the water than where we are, who are wedded to a political party in a mindless kind of way.
Mm.
Okay.
So I think a lot of misunderstandings. The idea of a Christian country, the idea of Christian foundations, the idea of forefathers of this, the idea that we got to get back to something, all of those things drive me crackers. But then they align themselves to all kinds of people who probably haven't got very high Jesus-style morals, but they will absolutely align themselves there and say there's only one way. I was listening to someone the other day saying they had a vision. And in the vision, they saw capitalism one side, socialism the other, or communism the other, they said, and the church was in the middle. And the purpose, therefore, they understood from the vision was this, that the church was there to crush communism and raise capitalism up.
Mm.
One interpretation. I thought to myself, a vision like that probably means, don't wed yourself left or right. There probably is some Jesus values that are neither left nor right. Why don't you go seek those out? So that is a bit of an annoying thing for me. I have friends who take those kind of lines, and but I can't. And it seems to continue.
Thank you, Martin, for bringing politics in. That was very good.
Well, I tried to push it out. That was my point.
Well,
Yeah.
if I can add,
Please,
my
Noel.
5 pence worth to that.
Yeah.
I was thinking the other day, that we live in Spain here. We're actually, I was born in Wales, so I am Welsh. That's my nationality. I'm a citizen by birth of the United Kingdom. I'm a resident here in Spain. But for me, the idea of being a patriot, being wedded to nationalism, is something that I feel is anathema to the kingdom of God.
Yeah.
So you see, when I became a Christian, people talk about, Jesus said, you must be born again. Being born again is actually being born into a kingdom. We become citizens of the kingdom of heaven. So our loyalty will always have to be not to a flag, not to a nation. Our loyalty is to the kingdom of heaven, because if we're truly born again, we are citizens of a kingdom that isn't about nationalism. It isn't about making Britain great again, or making America great again, or whatever country you happen to live in.
Yeah.
It's actually to do with, I'm a citizen of God's kingdom. And so I need to live as a citizen of his kingdom by his values, not the values of nationalism, patriotism, all those sort of things. So I guess, if you can ask me what annoys me, it's that ongoing thing that Martin has talked about, where you'll have Christian leaders who will tell you what party to vote for.
Yeah.
And I don't feel you should do that. You know, the wonderful thing about Britain is there are people who are Christians who support the Tory party, support the Labour Party, support the Liberal Democrats or whatever. And nobody ever turns around and says, well, you have to vote for. It's basically, you know, down to people's conscience before God who they vote for. And so I feel, you know, this idea that people want to create some kind of kingdom of God in a nation. We see how that works out in Iran and Afghanistan and other places like that, because religion will always oppress people. And so you know, the one thing that disappoints me is people who want to create a kind of a Christian country and enforce and impose those values on people who maybe have no faith whatsoever. And I think what we have to do, we're a kingdom that is different. And so we love people. We win people's hearts. We don't dominate. We don't impose our morality on them.
Great answer. Thank you. And just for the record, when I went over to the World Cup in 1982, I went there to support the referees. Just saying. Right. Okay. Thank you very much indeed for that, guys. Next question then. Fingers on the buzzers, no conferring. The Christmas nativity play that should be round thereabouts in the primary schools, at a primary school near you currently. What are the facts and what or who do you think are fiction within it? Let's go first of all, Noel Richards, and somebody just said you deserve a bonus point, Noel, for that.
Yeah, I was so busy flicking that up, and I almost missed the question. Then.
Oh, so you missed the question. Oh, well, we'll deduct a point there as well.
Hey, there you go.
There you go.
Basically, can you just repeat that for my benefit, because I was mildly distracted.
Well, because you were being polite, I'll reimburse you with that bonus point.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We're going to be nice today. So the Christmas nativity play, what are facts and what and who are fiction within the Christmas nativity play that we traditionally see in primary schools near us currently? No,
it's total fiction. What? Father Christmas probably has more truth in it than that. I mean, Jesus, wasn't born in December. And certainly, I read somebody's diatribe on Facebook the other day. It was very long, but he was basically outlining how little what we have in the Christmas season actually has to do with reality. And so, Jesus was not born on the 25th of December. The idea of the astrologers, we talk about wise men, but they were astrologers. And they probably came, Martin, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe a couple of years afterwards. They weren't there at the time, by which time Mary and Joseph would have been somewhere else. So it's all very nice. And, you know, I love the Christmas season in that sense. I love all the, you know, the snow and the stables and people dressing up and all that sort of stuff. But it's not really much to do with what actually happened. So probably our theologian can shed more light on it than I can.
Thank you. Are you talking about me? Because when you say Martin, you can correct me. I feel suddenly as if I am a theologian.
Not Martin second, Martin one on my.
Oh my word!
Just when I was, just when I elevated myself. Martin Scott, Spain.
Yes, indeed. No, I totally back Noel up on that. You know, there's so much. I mean, a lot of fun, the Christmas story, and great for kids, of course. But it's a lot more, the real story, I think, is a lot more earthy and probably not so pretty. You know, I don't know, Noel will know all the Christmas carols, but, the cattle are lowing, the baby awakes. I think it goes, and then no crying he makes.
Right.
I don't think so.
No.
You know, if cattle are lowing and you're hungry, baby Jesus makes a lot of crying.
I would think so.
God becomes human, not a little bit semi-human. And, I think we probably have to correct some of the nativity stuff as kids grow a little older. Yeah, it's great fun, enjoy it. But when you get into who Jesus really was, it's a lot more earthy and down to earth, and the color of his skin. He's not this nicely polished white person. He's Middle Eastern.
And don't you
I
think,
think-
Martin?
Yeah, go.
That when we do things like this, and again,
Yeah.
I'm not wanting to be a party pooper or a misery, but when we're giving people an idea of Jesus in a certain way, and when we're building a faith on a fiction,
Yeah,
then we're heading for problems further down the line. I think that basically affects our concept of who Jesus is, who God is.
absolutely.
So we end up with a sort of a twisted, warped idea of Jesus, meek and mild, this perfect little baby, this perfect adult. But when you look at Scripture, it's nothing like that at all. So I think
No.
we're indoctrinating kids with
Yeah, we really are, and we end up if they follow the path, it's dehumanizing.
Mm,
You said the perfect Jesus, and then we got a picture of what is perfection. That's
exactly.
not perfection.
Yeah.
What we see there. And I did a post a long time ago on Jesus probably wasn't the best carpenter.
Explain.
Why should we assume did he ever make a mistake? Of course he did. He was human.
Yes.
One of God's gifts to humanity is the ability to make mistakes.
Mm.
And we end up having so many problems when we make a mistake. I'm sure he sawed a bit of wood. Oh, that one's a bit too short. Give me another piece of wood. The one thing I do know, he's probably the most honest carpenter.
Yes.
If there was somebody down the road who could make better windows than him, he probably would have said, "Hey, mate, I'll go down the road if I were you.
Yes.
You want your window made."
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
that's where you hit perfection, not where, and I put in there, come on, I in the post I put, are you really suggesting he was the best carpenter? He was faster than Usain Bolt. I'll put all these examples out there.
Yeah.
And somebody put in, of course he was faster than Usain Bolt. He would have just held back to let Usain Bolt win. And that's what you end up with.
Yes.
So in honesty, it's not a human Jesus.
No.
And then you end up,
sorry.
one more final thing, you end up with the theological issues. How can Jesus be God and human? As if it's how can a person be a spider and a fish at the same time? Two different species.
Yes.
But if to be truly human is to be pretty close to God, it's not too difficult to say he was both human, truly human, and he was fully God. I think there's somewhere in Scripture that says that humans are made in the image of God. I'm sure there's something in there.
And that really is what we want to be, is to be truly human. That's what
Truly
Jesus
human.
modeled, is that us being truly human. What's interesting, is a question I used to get asked a lot at seminars was, is it okay to have somebody who's not a Christian in your worship band?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we used to have this conversation all the time in Radio
And I used
Land.
to say, it's fine to have somebody who's not a Christian in your worship band, because I've done that on many occasions. And in fact, none of Jesus' disciples were Christians.
Oh,
They were Christians.
very good. Yeah, very good.
So, but we end up with this kind of evangelical concept of these disciples were, somehow special, and they were fishermen. They were working guys. They were, they were laborers, and some of them were a bit dodgy as well. But,
Yes.
they weren't these perfect guys. And yet somehow, within our church circles, we said, well, if somebody's in your worship band who's not a Christian, they're hindering the Spirit of God. And I go, not really, because if somebody who's not a Christian can hinder the Spirit of God, that makes the Spirit of God very weak.
Good point. You, out of you two, who was talking about Jesus making windows? Who said that?
Me, I mentioned that
yeah.
one. Well,
The reason being is that my mind, being of a simple persuasion, suddenly thought of Jesus going to measure up windows and going, I can't fit it for another 3 weeks, maybe 4, sort of thing. You know, when do you want it back? Oh, I don't know. Or maybe not. Or maybe you would have done.
I
I've
think
just
it's the
got a
honesty
comment here.
factor.
Can I just throw a little comment in here
Please.
from April?
Yes,
Just a
hello,
good comment. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to read it out.
No, we're all reading
You
it.
can see that on the screen. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's great.
absolutely.
In my
awesome.
granddaughter's nativity, in brackets, she's 5, it was amazing to hear the kids speaking. The baby came and changed the world, not a Christian school. I hope that's what, and that's, I can't see the rest of it because my page
Yeah,
is.
I hope
That's
that's
what
what remains. I mean, that's fantastic, April. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, that's really awesome. I
Yeah.
think this is what we need is the talk of Jesus, because once we move him from being a religious figure into where he's set, which is about the transformation of the world, it's about humanizing people, it's about, people can see in his eyes that he believes in them. And I think I know it's in a small way, but a 5-year-old kid in a school, there's a little bit of that's being sown there. This is came to change the world. Now that's worth learning about.
Yes.
Could you read that quote out again, please, Noel?
Yes, I'll put it back up on the screen. Yeah. In my granddaughter's nativity, she's 5, it was amazing to hear the kids speaking out. This baby came and changed the world. It's not a Christian school. I hope that's what remains.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really good,
That's
isn't it?
fantastic.
Yeah.
And I think that for me is what we have to see, because Jesus did change the world. It's a different place. Not just that the church is different, the world is different. And I would love to see kids of all persuasions and faith backgrounds. They ought to be excited about this person, Jesus, whether they ever end up, in our words, born again, et cetera, yeah, that's another step.
Yeah.
But they should be excited about him the same as Gandhi or Martin Luther King, not the same as, beyond that, because they modeled themselves on Jesus.
Yes.
So he
And,
absolutely
this
transformed things.
and these nativity plays, which we have been saying, well, it's a little bit, but it does actually bring Jesus into the discussion.
Yeah.
Which is what we want. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I was on a Zoom 2 weeks ago, I think, and there's a guy on there. He just stepped in as I finished. We were a part of a panel, and he's written some major books on economics. And I can spell the word almost, but I know nothing about it. But I just, my last sentence went like this. It is about trying to end religious discrimination. I just said my fascination with Jesus is his values, his teaching, his whole worldview is absolutely transforming. And I think a lot of what he said about economics would actually transform our world. And he came in as I said that. And you can find his books on Amazon. He's a speaker in conferences, etc. And certainly doesn't have Christian faith as we would share it. And he said, I was really fascinated to hear that, because we must get a new economics. So, and I think Jesus has got something to say into all that space.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we marginalize him over here, domesticate him. In all honesty, we clean him up so the baby doesn't cry anymore. Oh, look, no, let Jesus loose and let's see what would happen.
Absolutely.
Anyway, we've drifted a bit.
Yeah, but wasn't it Gandhi who said he would have been a Christian if it wasn't for the Christians, or something like that? I'm paraphrasing it.
Gandhi had a very good friend. His name will come to me. Very famous missionary who was right cutting edge his principles, and they were very close friends.
Wow.
And one of the things that turned Gandhi, really impacted him against Christianity, was going to South Africa. And obviously, back in that era, as an Indian going to South Africa, apartheid, etc., which was all backed up by the Bible. It was the Christian worldview. He really felt there's no way I could embrace this faith. But he was very close friends with this missionary, and his name will come to me.
That's amazing.
Wow, thank you. Thank you. Well, I thought we were going to talk about the innkeeper as well, as we're drinking wine, but he hasn't turned up in the conversation. But I just get a feeling the innkeeper isn't in the Bible either. But from that, let's have another carol, if that's okay. I just have a flavour here, Noel, that it might not actually be in the Bible either, what you've chosen. So tell us more, please.
No, and I love this carol, and that's why I've chosen it. And maybe I'll talk about this afterwards.
Yeah.
But it's very famous. It's got nothing to do with anything we've talked about. It's just a really nice song. Here we go. White Christmas. Just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas with every Christmas card I your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know. Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. There you
Fantastic.
go.
Fantastic. Can I reminds me of my days in radio land, that when you start in radio as a radio DJ, you always have to find out which tracks are long enough, so just in case you get caught short, you can play it. That's the great thing about radio, unlike TV. So if you if you were in a secular radio station, you'd find a track by Kraftwerk or something like that and put that on, the full Autobahn 15-minute version. Or in my case, I'd play Iona.
All right. I was just watching you doing that track. You sort of disappeared, and I thought, has he gone to the bathroom? Has he?
He had.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'll be
that's
back.
where I
So
went. That's where I went. And I've changed as well because my asthma's playing up, so I thought I'd get some more air. Funnily enough, this T-shirt, really useful present store. I was given this back in 1996, something like that. Steve Chalk's company. What was it called? The Salt Mine Trust. No, it wasn't. Was it something? No, what was it called? The Oasis Trust.
Oasis Trust. That's
the Oasis Trust. Yeah. So I got this T-shirt. I can still wear it. It's quite amazing, isn't it? Really. Anyway, enough of me rabbiting on about what I used to do in a past life. From White Christmas, favorite carol of all time, then, please. And I'm going to give a bonus point to Noel, I think, for carrying on the previous conversation very well indeed. So you get a bonus point for that, Noel. So, Martin, you can start this time, please, with regarding to your favorite carol of all time.
Well, I have referred to Away in a Manger, not my favorite.
Is that Wayne in a manger?
Away.
Wayne.
No, not Wayne. I thought I was like Wayne, like.
Well, that could be as well. That's not my favorite either, because of the baby doesn't cry. Another crazy one I found today was I saw three ships come sailing in upon his Christmas carol. Now, last time I checked, Bethlehem was landlocked.
This is true.
Noel, have you got any other info on that?
Well, basically,
What kind of
another.
ships were they that came sailing into Bethlehem?
Well, it could be worship, fellowship, and lordship.
They're all boats, I think, and they're not.
Oh, very good.
Do you like
Yeah.
that? Worship, fellowship, and lordship.
Yeah, I like
Came
that.
sailing in.
Yes.
Okay, so that one's back on the list of
Yes.
acceptable carols.
There
The
you
one I
go.
like is this one. Joy to the world. The Lord is come. I like it because it goes on to say, let heaven and nature sing. Let heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Heaven and nature coming together. I think now we got something that is pretty powerful. So that one got my vote when I had a look through Christmas carols on the internet today.
Only today? We gave you these questions about 3 years ago. I thought you'd have planned
Well, it
it.
wasn't even today, if I'm honest, Martin. It was like, what time are we now? let's say just over an hour ago.
Dawn
Well-
likes Hark the Herald.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that one.
Hark the Herald Angels Sing. I wonder what anybody else likes. Maybe we'll get some
We
of
can get a
the
vote on this.
guys who are
Yeah.
watching to put their little comments up.
Yeah.
Hark the Herald, obviously based on a car from Triumph, obviously. I'm showing my age. I Triumph Herald.
That was terrible.
Actually, my dad survived a car crash in a Triumph Herald. He had a Triumph Herald, and someone crashed into the side and he rolled over 3 times. And this is back in the mid-'60s. And he was wearing a seatbelt, one of the few people at the time to wear a seatbelt,
Wow.
and that saved his life. And I remember being called home from school, and I was really, really angry with my mother because I was only 7, but we were about to play football, and I had to go home to be told it was a very bad car crash. And I was really annoyed. I thought, yeah, and I've got football to play. So there you go. Triumph Herald. Noel, what is your favourite carol, please?
Oh, well, now I'm going to sort of basically change it because as a songwriter, like I really do love White Christmas.
Yeah.
Not for any theological reason, but simply because it's just a great piece of writing. You know, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, which is total fantasy, just like the ones I used to know. But this lovely little phrase, where the tree tops glisten. See, that's a picture. And children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. And I just love that imagery, that kind of, it's writing. It's just for me, melodically and lyrically, it's a perfect song. Nothing to do with the Christmas story at all, but just totally to do with, I like snow and bells and all that stuff.
Am I right in saying that song first featured in a black and white version with Bing Crosby called Holiday Inn? And
Probably
they liked,
it's true. Yes.
yeah, and they liked it so much they thought, oh no, we'll now make a fantastic colour version and we'll call it White Christmas.
And of course, you know, while we're on, you know, myths and stuff like that, you know, Coca-Cola
Yes,
invented the Santa in the red costume as a marketing thing.
we did.
Oh, wow.
So there you go. Somebody's made a suggestion here. How about Ishmael's great Christmas song, 2 Years on a Camel?
And I'm still riding along. Is that how it goes?
I don't know. 2 Years on a Camel. That's probably about right, though. That's more accurate.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yes.
so you've got Martin, who's got some great theology there with his choice, and me just coming as a songwriter, looking at something which is just clever.
That's a very good answer. And in fact, you and I are talking about this as well a couple of weeks ago, because these podcasts, I'm obviously very concerned about copyright rules. And the reason why we can play your version of it is because you've waived copyright tonight, so thank you very much indeed. But the copyright rule goes for 70 years, and it's whoever recorded that, it then stays for 70 years. Now, because Bing Crosby sang it in 1942, that's more than 70 years, and it was actually written in the mid-30s by Mr. Burnin. It's copyright free. There you go. I told you people would learn stuff tonight.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we're learning all the time.
Adrian Goodall's got an interesting suggestion.
Oh, yes. While
Watch the
shepherds
socks by
watch
night.
their socks by night. That
There
is
you
back in
go.
primary school.
That's a bit like, what's his name?
Virginia Plain.
No, the comic who's just starting this great big tour again.
Oh, Peter Kay.
Peter Kay, he does all the lyrics and stuff like that, doesn't he?
Apparently
great.
so.
Yeah,
Apparently so.
misheard lyrics.
Yes, but that was around in my day, misheard lyrics.
Yes.
Noel Edmonds used to do it on the radio going into
Yes.
school, and
Absolutely.
back in the 70s. I still have trouble understanding the skids, if you remember the skids from the 70s, 78 sort of thing. I always thought he said more than a slow go. And I said, what is more than a slow go, to a chap who was a massive Skid fan? He said, no. He said, what he said was boy, man and soldier. But next time you listen to it, it's, boy, man and soldier. Yeah. Hey, boy, man and soldier. And relax, Martin. Can I give you have you noticed that I haven't given you my answers to any of these questions?
Okay.
I didn't want to
come
be
on,
controversial.
bring it on.
Let's hear from you, Martin.
Thank you. In the Bleak Midwinter is my favourite.
And why?
Good question, Martin. I'm going to give you a bonus point for that. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
This is
April
easy
Brown
quiz.
says it as well.
Yeah,
There you
come on.
go.
I think it's the lyrics. It just really chokes me up. If I was a wise man, I would do my part. Yet, what can I give him? Give my
Heart.
Noel Richards gets a bonus point for that as well, for knowing that part rhymes with heart.
That was
I
lucky.
guess there's something else. Cart. I could give my cart because I'm wealthy. No, it really cracks me up. I got a feeling Christina Rossetti wrote it. She wasn't actually a Christian, but what with those kind of lyrics? Come on. And it's the tune as well. And I get annoyed as well. I get annoyed very easily now because I'm of a certain age. But you go to a Christmas Carol concert and they decide to play In the Bleak Midwinter to a different tune. I'm going, what's that about? Stop it. No, you can't do that. There's only one tune and it's the proper tune. Stop it.
Right. That's another discussion altogether when you start talking about changing tunes and.
Yes. Well, are any tunes that you get annoyed at? No.
Off the top of my head, no. But if you're going to ask me what is my least favorite Christmas song,
yes, let's do that. What's your least favorite Christmas song?
the John Lennon one. And so this is Christmas.
Oh, right. Okay.
I just think it's such a depressing song. So and our kids, they have this thing. They try and make sure that I listen to the song at least once during the Christmas season. So they often will just send me a message on Christmas Day, which is nothing more than that song. In fact, once they got the grandkids to sing it to me because they know I really don't like that song.
Wow.
John Lennon was a great songwriter.
I was.
But
absolutely.
But that just doesn't do it for me. It doesn't do it for me.
Well, whilst we're on the subject of John Lennon, and I could talk about him becoming a Christian as well if we've got time. Maybe not. I'll let you decide on that one. Imagine, can't stand it. Never have liked it from day one. Can't stand the tune, can't stand the lyrics, can't stand it. And that's why I was so chuffed to bits that in Q magazine quite a few decades ago now, Yoko Ono said that she didn't like it compared to this track, which she then nominated as far better, which happens to be my favourite track by John Lennon, and that's Mind Games.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And there goes the tumbleweed again. Martin, what's your least favourite carol?
Well, my least favourite, I think, are the ones that I've mentioned. The ones that depict Jesus in some kind of I would call subhuman way, but the idea of the writer is to paint him in a kind of a superhuman way. Yeah, he's beyond and above and whatever, which is just does not. Well, it more than doesn't do it for me. I think it's a total travesty. I could go a little stronger than that and quote some verses from 1 John.
Go on then.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
That the Antichrist is the one that denies the humanity of Jesus.
Sorry, say that again. I was talking
the
over
Antichrist is the one who denies the humanity of Jesus, that he did not come in the flesh.
There you go.
That's a bit of a twist. But that is in the good book.
So
I hate anything that makes Jesus to be something other than human. He is fully God, but we must hold on to that he's fully human. There's no hope for the human race otherwise.
No, absolutely.
And I believe he gave hope to the human race. Yeah. So any Christmas carol that goes back to his childhood and this is not a real baby does not do it for me.
Got you. Well, I'm going to give you both points for that.
But Noel didn't speak.
He did.
I did.
What did you say?
He just did there. He said, I did.
I did. I
Well,
just
give
spoke.
another
Again.
point then. If you really feel like
I
give another
will.
point.
I will. No, you're going to
Yeah.
get 5 bonus points for that because
Oh.
he's been very.
Oh, that's narrowed the gap now.
Oh, there you go. There you go. There you go,
He was being a
Martin.
very naughty boy.
Which
He's been a very
one?
naughty boy. You, Martin, won. Sorry, but I'm going to be cruel and heartless on this one. So that was favourite carol of all time, which leads us very nicely into our video DJ of the night. What have we got this time, please, Noel?
This is a song that Trish and I wrote back in 2009, and it's the only Christmas song we've written. It's called Angels Sing Their Song Tonight.
Wow.
And we've just put together a new video for the song, which people can download from our website and use as they want to.
Would you like to give us a name for your website?
NoelRichards.com.
Excellent.
And here's the song. Wonder of a newborn son, greatest gift to everyone, Savior of the world is He. Mary holds Him tenderly, hear the news the shepherds bring. They have seen the infant King. He is called Emmanuel. God has come with us to dwell. Angels sing, glory be to God. Christ has come, hope for all is birth. When heaven kisses earth, angels sing their song tonight. Seek the star that burns so bright. Let it be your guiding light to a stable cold and bare. You will find the Savior there. Angels sing, glory be to God. Christ has come, hope for all is birth. When heaven kisses earth, angels sing their song tonight. Wise men, lay your treasure down. Worship on this holy ground. Bow before the Prince of Peace. For His kingdom will not cease. Angels sing,
sing this song tonight.
Angels sing, angels sing, hear the angels sing, angels sing.
That's really good. That's really good.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Well, we're rapidly coming towards the end now. So first of all, I have to give a shout out actually to our friend, my wife and I friend, Leslie, who texted me on my own hotline to say she's really enjoying it or something like that. I think that's what she meant. She said thanks, but hopefully that's what she meant. So my thanks also to the two good guys here, to Martin Scott. Thank you so much for joining us, Martin.
Thank you.
Thank you also to our extraordinaire on the old visuals and singing, and that is Noel Richards. Thank you so much, sir, for your time, guys. It's been great. I'm now going to hand over because normally we do on the podcast who your Christian hero is, someone that is dead, obviously, because we can't get sued should you say somebody else. But because you've done it already before, I threw this question out to Martin, which just goes to prove, don't always do things yourself, delegate, get some other brains in it. And Martin came at the corker of a question, which I might even be able to join in as well. So let's hand it all over to Mr. Martin Scott. And I'm going to give you 5 bonus points for this question.
Thank you, guys. Been a pleasure to be here tonight. A lot of fun. Right, here's my question. And dare I say, it's not wholly original to me. So are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, bated
These are the
breath.
buzzers. No need for fingers and buzzers. I'll nominate one of you.
Oh, but
Okay, so normally it's a Christian hero, someone from the past. So we're going to play it safe, nothing libelous in what you say, but we're going to say, if you were a superhero, which one would you be at this time of goodwill to one and all? Which one would you be, and why would you choose to be that one? Mr. Purnell, why don't we go for you first?
Thank you. Well, what you don't know, and I'm going to give you the 12-inch version of this, is that I've thought about this ever since I could walk, which was like 3 or 4 sort of thing. Who would I like to be? And there's only ever been one superhero I've ever wanted to be, and that was the Invisible Man. Now, this is very selfish. I will stress this. I'll give you an alternative answer in a minute. I've always wanted to be the Invisible Man for purely selfish reasons. As you know, I live now in Northern Ireland, and my favourite football team is Bristol City, right? Now, my wife, bless her, for Christmas and birthday, it's like, right, okay, here's some money, get out of my life for 48 hours, go and stay with your friends so you can watch Bristol City. So that's what I do. And I love it, especially as I live in Northern Ireland now. You can't do it in the car. So I've often thought about this, that if I was the Invisible Man, it'd be brilliant. It's very easy to get into all airports if you know where the cargo barrier is. I could just get underneath that, walk onto the apron. I'd have my EasyJet app out. I'd know which plane to get on. I'd make sure how many people were getting on. And if there was only 110 and the plane held 130, I'd be quids in, up the gangplank, into the plane, sit down. Thank you very much. Bob's your uncle. 45 minutes later, down in Bristol, get off, get on a free bus, obviously, and off I go to the game, whereby I could then get in for free as well. But maybe that's not quite right moralistically. So I don't know, because then obviously MI5 and MI6 will want me to help them out, you know, to find out secrets and stuff. And then I wish I'd never become the Invisible Man, really. So alternatively, I'll be SpongeBob SquarePants.
And why? The first one was selfish. What
Yeah,
about the
I
second?
told you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you admitted it, but
I did.
come on, SpongeBob, why?
Why? Because he is a superhero, isn't he? I mean, he just
Yeah,
makes
but what
people laugh.
what is the benefit to humanity in this season of goodwill to one and all?
Because he will be able to make fantastic patties. That's what he's famous for, right?
Okay.
He'd be able to make amazing burgers. And because he really genuinely tries to help people out and tries to bring love to people, I think what he would want to do is to go around the rest of the world offering everybody a fantastic burger. And then with his silly voice, make people laugh accordingly. So you get love, like you said, Noel, about dinner church. You'd have burger church.
Okay.
Okay. There
Yeah,
you
Okay.
go.
Well, I will.
Like that burger church.
I will award you 31 points and a bonus point. You're in 32.
Oh, thank you.
I
Because
think I'm at 35. That's why I chose those numbers. No, superhero and why?
Well, it's confession time. When I was younger, I used to love all these Superman comics.
yeah,
Okay.
All these Marvel comics. I used to just like read them, and I really wanted to be Superman. You know, and I like this idea of the sort of dual identity. You know, the fact that like you're mild-mannered Clark Kent, and then you transform into this superhero that basically saves the world. And so I thought I wanted to be a superhero. So I used to dress up as a sort of my own kind of superhero. You know, I used to get my swimming trunks on, and I didn't steal my mum's tights because that would have been very bad. You know,
Yeah.
but
But
I didn't have anything to put on my legs.
No, we probably need photographic evidence.
Yeah, there's no photographic evidence, but I thought, you know,
that's
to
fine.
have this double identity, I just need a mask and a pair of underpants. And yeah, I remember once going out dressed as a superhero somewhere, and I had my mask on so nobody would know who I was. And I went past somebody and he only went, "Right, Noel?"
So just to get this correct, how old were you?
Maybe I was about 12, 13, maybe.
Come on, be honest now.
Yeah, I think that's probably about where I was. Yeah. And I was just
you weren't about 30 or 32.
No. I put those childish things aside, but I like the idea of being Superman because, you know, you basically, you help the weak, you save the poor and downtrodden. But the other thing, I suppose, I could actually be Captain Underpants.
yes, good call.
Because Captain Underpants is just this ordinary guy
Yeah.
and becomes somebody special. And I think all of us, we're all special. Every single one of us is special. And if we can do something to make other people feel special, then that's what I'd like to do. So maybe when all is said and done, I'd go for Captain Underpants.
Well,
Good.
Martin, I need to hand back to you because Noel has scored big points there.
I think he has.
He
pulled
really
it out of
has,
the bag.
you know, with his deep encouragement that we're all ordinary, but so I think, and look, we've now got
You're very special,
whoever it
Noel.
is that is texting in.
Yeah. Lyle and Scott, I think it said.
Yeah, whoever that was, you're very
I wonder who
special.
that is. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll see if I can put out the bag then on that one, if that's okay. I mean, I was coming up with the idea of coal man. I think coal man would be very good, you know, whereby you could go around spreading coal outside people's doors for those that, you know, have a fire to burn. Not that I've nicked that idea off anyone, but no, I wouldn't have done that, Noel, would I?
No, the problem is coal is not an environmentally friendly fuel, is it? So
But that's why I didn't say it.
Oh,
But your story about Superman, in a previous career, I used to work for a very well-known company, and there was a chap there with the same name as me, Purnell, and his name was John Purnell, most probably still is. I haven't seen him for decades, but his wife's name was Sue, right? And I always thought it's funny that she was Super Nell. True story. True.
How's
I
the
almost
wine?
didn't know
Noel?
with no water then.
How's water?
I think I won a point on that.
You got a point there. I almost ruined my computer then.
So, Martin, who's your hero?
If I were a superhero, I think it'd probably be Spider-Man. I once had a bite from a spider on my ankle. I really did in the rainforest of Brazil.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they were very worried. They said, if this swells up, this will not be good. So they drew this ink mark all around the bite and said, if in the morning it exceeds this ink mark, you are in trouble. However, going back to trying to outdo Noel, Spider-Man, like us all, you get bitten in life. Hey, but maybe it gives you a little something to give away.
Ah,
How about that?
That's
too
good.
deep for me. No,
Is that
too deep.
good?
that's
No,
very good. Yeah.
Oh,
Too
very
deep.
good. Thank you, Noel.
Too
Yeah.
deep.
I appreciate that.
Well, listen, guys, it's been absolutely fantastic tonight. Thank you so much. And maybe we'll get invited back for Easter or even Christmas next year. We'll see. Obviously, depends on the producers of this show and if they can stretch the budget, of course.
Yes.
I'd like to thank everybody who's contributed by sending in quotes as well on the text, and to Noel and Martin again for joining us on this very special Off-Grid Christianity podcast. And I'll leave it to the two guys to say cheerio and Merry Christmas. Noel first.
Yeah, well, it's been fun. Great idea. And thank you, all of you that have stuck with us and watched and listened, and for your comments and all of that. That's great. And don't forget that podcast will be out later in the year. Is that right? Before Christmas? Is that right, Maureen?
It will indeed. Mine's going out on Christmas Eve.
On Christmas Eve.
And yours is going out?
So I
When's yours
just
going out?
want to wish you all a very wonderful Christmas and a wonderful New Year as well. Stay warm, stay safe. Stay healthy. Yeah.
Thank you. And should they want to watch the video version as opposed to the audio version, when would it be available on your website, good sir?
It'll just be permanently on Facebook and YouTube. It'll be there. It just stays there. It's all been recorded, so people can
almost immediately they can watch the highlights straight away. Then
the highlights. Yes, there you go.
Of Noel spitting out water all over the microphone.
Almost.
Martin, I'll leave it with you, good sir.
Thank you. Hey, it's been great to be with you guys. Been a lot of fun. Look forward to catching up again another time. And obviously this time of year, absolutely an incredible Christmas. What a time to celebrate. Whether Jesus was born December 25th or April, whatever, is secondary. We celebrate absolutely the birth of Jesus into this world that made such a difference. So to one and all, have a great Christmas, get some time off, get refreshed, and be ready for a good, not just New Year, but a new year. Be ready for it. So great to be here. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. This has been a BCSC production. Cheerio and Merry Christmas.